Hello and welcome to Indie Designer Journal episode 11. Today we're going to be discussing adding solo rules or a solo variant to a game you've already designed. This can be easy depending on the game. If it's a cooperative game, it's already done for you. For the most part, cooperative games are basically a solo game to begin with that, you just have more players playing and everyone's kind of playing a solo game themselves. So for a cooperative game, it's not that difficult to do, and there's plenty of examples of that out there. However, if you've designed a game that's specifically for 2 to 5 players or 2 to 4 players or whatever it might be, sometimes it's a real challenge to make a solo variant of a game. Now, you can push and struggle really hard to make your solo variant to be very similar to the experience that players will have if they're playing with multiple players. Sometimes you can force it too much, and you try to make it so much like the original game that it's just not fun. Maybe you change a couple of things and you have some sort of point system or whatever it is, and it's just not even a fun experience. Now today I'm going to show you a game that I created, a solo variant for another game that I created that I went the other route with it, and you see this as well. And what I did was I took all the components from the game. I tried my best to keep some of the feel or atmosphere or theme, I should say, intact, but I went a completely different route. I just basically said, well, I have these components, and I want to convey sort of the feeling of the game, but I know I can't make, or I could make a pretty crappy variant, a solo variant that would be like the original game, but I don't think it'd be very much fun. So how can I take what I have and make a solo experience that's fun? So today we're going to be looking at this little game here called Mineshaft Mayhem. It is available for free print and play on the Grey Gnome website. There's a little bar there. I think it's just under free downloads is the name of the page. You can go to there. I have a bunch of stuff there for free. So you can download that if you're interested. I'm also going to be putting this up for sale at the Game Crafter. It's going to be super cheap because all it is 2 sheets. And we'll look at these sheets better when we get the camera turned around at the table here. But what I did was I made something completely different. It uses the majority of the components for Dig Down Dwarf. This is for Dig Down Dwarf, which is part of the Tin series, which is a 2 to 4 player game. But I wanted people to have a solo variant because I typically design solo games to begin with. Most of my library are solo games. So when I come out with a game that's not solo, I have a lot of the fan base is interested. Is there going to be a solo variant? Now, I did do this for Dig Down Dwarf. I haven't been able to really make one for Banners, which was a game I came out with earlier this year. But I'll probably look into seeing if there's some kind of solo variant way that I can use the components in that game to create a different experience, because it'll probably be something completely different. Because again, I don't want to force it. You don't want to force it, just say, oh look, I have a solo variant, and just to make people who like solo games happy. Sometimes you have to just make something completely different with what you have. And I think that's sometimes the best route you can go. So what we're going to do is turn the camera around. We're going to take a look at Mineshaft Mayhem, and I'll show you how it works, how it plays, and the components that are being used. And you can kind of get an idea of where my mind was at when I decided to go this route instead of just making it, a one-player experience of the multiplayer game. So let's take a look at it. Okay, so what we have here are the tin for Dig Down Dwarf and all of the gems from Dig Down Dwarf. I've separated the basic gems, I should say, the rubies and sapphires and diamonds and such, and I put the cursite in the lid as per the instructions. Now, before I go any further, this is now going to be available on the Game Crafter for print. It wasn't before. You could only do a print and play before for it. So I decided to kind of make a nicer version of it. This is a little bit different than the print and play version, and just so I formatted it to fit on this particular size cardstock sheet. Now this, like I said, will be available on the Game Crafter. It's going to sell for $4.99, so it's, I think, relatively inexpensive. A good item to add to another order if you have another order. And because this is the Game Crafter, and this is the mat, I believe they call this, the 8x8 mat. There's 2 of them sold per sheet. So instead of just giving you 1 for the same price, I might as well give you 2. And since I know that, because I've obviously created quite a few games for the Game Crafter, I put all the rules on the back side. So you can have one out to play on, and then you can have the other mat flipped over with all the rules. So all the rules are on one side, and then the actual play area is on the other. So what I did was, like I said, I wanted to create a fun, sort of tension-filled game that utilized the majority of the components from the base game. So everything is being used except for the little golden meeple that is used in the base game, and the card. So there's a bunch of cards and stuff that come in the base game. So this is a different experience. So I'm not going to go over how Dig Down Dwarf plays, because that's a different video altogether. There is a video you can go back and watch if you're interested in my videos. I do have a tutorial video on Dig Down Dwarf. So maybe it'd be interesting to watch how that plays if you don't know how it plays, to see how I utilize the components here. So in this game, you have a conveyor. You're a dwarf, as you would expect in the game called Dig Down Dwarf. And this conveyor, every turn, gems are going to be added, and previous gems are going to start moving down this conveyor. If they ever reach this gear, they are moved to one of these spots. The game ends if you get 3 gems in these locations down here. Basically, you jam up the equipment, everything stops working, and then you score the game. That's one way it can end. The other way the game ends is if you're able to somehow manage to get through all of these gems. You sort them all out. So the theme of this is you're a dwarf. I think it says here, I'll read this to you. It says, you are the dwarf that pulled the short straw today and must man the gem sorting conveyor. Sounds like an easy enough task, right? Well, your foreman has activated the level to speed up the conveyor as to get more production out of you, just like most management would do. It doesn't say that, but I added that myself. Now you must collect all or as many gems as you can before the gems fall into the gears and destroy the conveyor. Best of luck. So that's the basic premise of this. So how are you collecting gems? You're collecting gems the same way you collect gems in the base game. That's why I have one of the reference cards here. It's actually a player card, but on the opposite side is a reference card. Another good way to utilize as much cards and stuff as you can when you're making a smaller game like this. In any case, to get a diamond, I have to roll 4 of a kind. In order to get an emerald, I need 2 pairs. To get a ruby, I need all evens. To get a sapphire, I need to roll a straight. To get an amethyst, I need 3 of a kind. Now, cursite are different in this game. Cursite are gained if I am incapable. If I don't gain a gem on my turn, I get a cursite. So that is a catch-up mechanic, and I can spend cursite as it shows here. 1 cursite, I can re-roll my dice. For 2 cursite, I can set a dice to any side that I want. So this is very much like a Yahtzee style game. You're rolling, you're holding some dice, re-rolling other dice, and you're trying to get, pairs or sets depending upon what gems are available. And you can spend 3 to remove a gem from the gear. Now, when you put a gem on one of these gears, you're covering up 5 points that you'll score at the end of the game. So you collect gems by rolling these dice, as I just described. And now you're wondering, how do I sort these gems? You see these different bins down here. How does that work? Well, I kind of stole this idea from Above and Below. And Above and Below, you're gathering different mushrooms and fish and stuff. And the first one of those resources you gain in that game that you actually store is worth the least amount. And then progressively, they become worth more and more. And every time you gain a resource of that particular type, you have to place it in a previous area that has that same gem. So if I put a blue gem here and later on I collect a blue gem, even if I'm further along in the game and there's gems in different spots, I gain another blue gem, I have to place it back here. So all gems in this first bin are worth 0. Gems in this second bin are worth 1. 2, 3, 4, so forth. End of the game, when you have to score, the number of gems you have in that particular bin are worth the value of that bin. So if I have 3 of these blue gems in here, they're worth 2 points each for 6 points. Now these same gems could be worth 9 points if they're here. So the strategy is, if you've played Above and Below, the strategy, and I'm sure this is in other games as well, is to try to get the rarest or most difficult gem in this first spot, because you're likely not going to see it again, because there's only, like diamonds, there's only 2 of them. So you're going to want to try to get to these filled up as fast as you can, and then load a bunch of gems in one of these high valued bins. So let's try playing it real quick. I don't know how far we'll get, but I want you to get an idea of how this game works, and just to see how I use these components in a different way. So to begin, we just randomly grab one without looking. So this is on your honor, like most solo games are. So I'll pull a gem. I got a red gem. It starts here, and it's my turn. So I only have 1 gem to go for in a ruby, so I need to roll all evens. I get 2 re-rolls, so I'll roll these dice. Okay, I got a 6 and a 4. So I'm going to re-roll these 3s. Oh, I got all evens, so I get to take this ruby. Rubies are fairly rare, but keeping this conveyor clear is super important, so I will place this in here. So now all rubies will be worth 0 points for me moving forward. Next round, rinse and repeat, pull another gem out, and I got an amethyst. I need 3 of a kind to get the amethyst, and I got nothing that is the same here. Just what number we want to go with. Let's go with 1s. Why not? I got another 1. Can I gain another? I did not. So I end up with no 1s. So this will not go anywhere. But since I didn't gain anything, I will gain a cursite. I can spend that later if I want. I could spend it. I think I have to spend that in a future turn. I have to read the rules. But that ends that round. This gem didn't get picked up, so it moves forward, and a new random gem is drawn. Now, if there's like 3 or 4 of the same, or 2 or multiples, I should say, of a particular gem, if I roll and successfully get that gem, I get all the gems of that type. So if there were like 3 amethysts out here and I rolled 3 of a kind, I would get all 3 of them. So that works very similar to how the actual Dig Down Dwarf works. So here we are now. Now this emerald is very appealing to me, because I'd love to stick that emerald in this bin, because then it's only worth 1, but then this amethyst will be worth 2 or 3. So I need 2 pairs. Excuse me. Well, I do have 2 2s. Maybe I'll hold on to the 6. Hope to get another 6. I got a 4, that's not helpful. I could use this. I don't know if I want to. I'm gonna hold. So this is a pressure luck thing here. I could spend this and maybe re-roll both of these, try to get 3 of a kind and gain an amethyst, take the amethyst, but I really want this, don't want to take the amethyst in this spot, because they're the most common gem. I want amethyst and sapphires to get it over here. So I'm going to just say no. I'm not going to do anything, and I'm going to allow these gems to move on. It's a little risky move, and then I'm going to grab another gem. Oh, another amethyst. So I really want to get this emerald, and then maybe in the next turn get these amethysts. So let's roll. We need 2 pair. I got 2 6s. I'll keep the 5. And then let's roll your roll. Let's try to get another 5. And I did. So now I get this. I'll put the emerald there. This space will stay empty. Okay. And that's my turn. These will move, each will move forward, and a new gem will come out. Ooh, a diamond. Now I would love to get this diamond and put it here, and then get the amethyst and put them here. See, this starts to build. Now tension's starting to build, and once these gems start to fall down on this final little conveyor chute, then it really ramps up. Excuse me. So here we go. I'm gonna go. I'd like to get 4 of a kind. Very difficult to do. And I got junk here. What do I want to do? I'm just gonna hold. Should I hold on? I'll hold on to the 6, and I'll re-roll all these dice. I got 2 4s. Okay, so I'll hold on to those 2 4s, and then I'm going to re-roll these 2 dice, in hopes of getting 2 4s. Or if I get 1 4, I guess I'm getting the amethyst. And I just killed the amethyst. And I ended up with a 6 and a 3, so not great. Now I could spend this, but I'm gonna press my luck. I'm not gonna re-roll again. I really want these amethysts to be worth more points at the end of the game. Grab another random gem, and we got another emerald out here. Things are starting to move along. Let's see here. Ooh, this is terrible. Okay, 2 pairs. I have nothing here that's going to work very nicely here. Hold on to the 1. Oh my, I wish I had a sapphire out here. I got a straight right now. 1, 2, 3, 4. These aren't working out well for me, so pressing my luck might come back to bite me. So this is tough. I'm gonna hold on to this cursite. I get another cursite, and I think I should have gotten another cursite from a previous turn, and I forgot to do so, but we'll just keep moving on. So these will all move. See, this will drop down to here, this will move forward, this will move forward, this will move forward, and I will really, at this point now, I'm gonna have to think about just taking the amethyst. Getting a 3 of a kind is fairly easy. I got 2 6s. Let's hope. Let's see what we can get here. Another 6, so I got my amethyst. I get 1 more roll. If I get a 6, I get the diamond, and that would be amazing. Oh, I did not. So I'll take these 2 amethysts, which is fine, and they'll be worth 2 points at the end of the game. And then that's the end of my turn. These will move forward, and that's basically how the game works. So I will keep working my way through here. Hopefully I can get through all of these. I've play tested this obviously quite a bit. Getting through all the gems is typically not the way the game ends. Typically you'll fill these gears up, because this is going to start piling quickly and filling up these gears. And there's another little thing I forgot to do, and that is every time you fill one of these, a new basket that was previously empty, you have to randomly, or you could choose any gem you want and put it on the board in any empty spot you want. So that helps you, because you can choose a gem that you want to place on the board that's helpful to you, but you're also at the same time filling up a space. So these 3 bins I filled, each time I did that, I should have put another gem out there. Who knows what I would have put out there, maybe amethysts, and then I would have grabbed them all when I placed this one or whatever. But that's basically, this is a completely different game than Dig Down Dwarf. Utilizes the same components, but it's a much funner solo experience. In fact, I really enjoy playing this game. It was fun to put this together because of the tension of this game and the pressure luck aspect. And there's a lot of strategy to it. Even though you're rolling dice, there's still a lot of strategy because there's the odds. You know what odds for each type of gem. So this is Mineshaft Mayhem. It is I think, in my personal opinion, a good example of making a solo variant for a game that just utilizes components from the game, but it plays completely different than the base game. Thanks for watching. Thanks again for sticking around and watching the video. I hope that you learned something with me here. I will say that I am very interested in what you have to say. You'll notice in all of my previous videos that I answer almost every single question that's in the comment section, or anything that's written in the comment section. I do my best to try to engage with people, because there's a lot of good ideas and suggestions that I get from the comment section. So please, if there's games out there that are multiplayer games that play really well, they have a really good solo variant, please leave that in the comments, not just for myself, but for other people viewing this video. They can see other games that do this. And now I'm specifically looking for games that the solo variant is quite a bit different than the base experience, if you understand what I'm saying. Basically, if it's a cooperative game and it's got a solo variant, you're basically playing the cooperative game. I'm looking for games that utilize the components in a different way for the solo experience. So if you have suggestions for games I can look at myself, or suggestions for games that do that well so that other viewers can research them on their own time, that'd be really, I'd appreciate it very much. And as always, please like and subscribe and all that fun stuff. It lets me know that you guys are interested in these videos, and I'll keep making them. So thanks for sticking around.